Is there anyone that's sitting in the same spot? Just you. And you, yeah. And you. And you. 4 of you guys? That's fucked up, man. You throwing me off my fucking... You're throwing me off my shit. Okay, so I guess a little quick recap is in order. We'll do a quick recap.
Yep.
Everything in the world is information and data. That's your third strike. I'm being serious too about it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I am. 100%. Fuck. Okay? Everything in the world is information and data. We perceive that and filter it through our 5 senses. It projects, this interpretation of the information projects onto our consciousness, our movie screen, our field of potential. Everything is an activity that arises and falls within my consciousness. Every sound, every smell, every feeling, everything, right? And that's all fine and dandy. And then what happens is other areas of my psyche will place meaning on activities that occur in consciousness. And not only that, but I just realized I forgot some shits. There's a thingy that's going to be here eventually. Whoa. And there's a thingy going to be here eventually. And I will just draw right over my face. Okay? So we went over beliefs. We went over the one that if I do anything inappropriate, people will hate me. Okay? What about another one? And we'll just talk about a couple just so we're well versed. So I have another one that I haven't narrowed down that specifically yet because I just can't seem to figure it out that easily on my own. I'm going to need probably some expert help if I want to go fully down that path. But one of them is something to do with either people don't listen to me, people don't respect me, or people don't value me. It's something like that. One of those 3, or maybe it's a phrase that could like encompass all of those.
I'm not worthy.
I'm not worthy, I'm not worth it. Something that's less accurate, but those could be. Is that yours? Do you have one like that?
Yeah, I could say that.
Yeah, you might. Because why would you just... Yeah.
I would say that ties in with not being loved. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I'll tell you how exactly it ties in. It ties in how I always wanted to be helpful when I was young. And I always wanted to be responsible, and I always wanted to be smart. Okay? So when I'm young, I would go about inserting myself into all these adult conversations. So I remember my father owned a restaurant, and his partner, they were over trying out different recipes for hamburger patties. And I remember them being like, "Hey, Joey, come here for a sec." And I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Try this." And I remember being like, "They want my help. And this is for something important." I was a kid, so I didn't truly understand what it was, but I'm like, it's something for their businesses. So I tried it, and I was like, "Yeah, it's good." And they're like, "Okay, now eat this one." And I went, "Also good." They went, "Which one?" And I went, "That one." And they both looked at each other, and right away they're like, "Nah." And they walked away. And they turned their fucking goddamn back on me. And I was like, "Oh, how dare you?" No, I didn't actually. I was just a kid, so I was just like upset about it. Yeah. And then I remember one time my brother was getting in trouble in school, and he actually got in trouble a bunch of times in rapid succession, starting to become more than a boys will be boys type situation. Like this mate could be, maybe he's challenged developmentally, meaning he's just like one of those kids, just like he's just getting in trouble too much, simply. So my parents were trying to figure out what to do about this behavioral problem. I was actually the same, but I was younger than him, so mine didn't develop till a little bit later. But what do we do about him? And I remember them sitting down at the table having like a discussion, and I didn't hear what they were saying, but I remember their voices were soft and low. And it was like, there was like the atmosphere was kind of like serious, the ambiance. And I remember being like, I know how I'm going to help my fucking brother. I figured it out. And I go up, I'm like, I know what to do. And they're just kind of like this. Go away. I was like, what? I know what to do. Go away, Joey. Go to your room. Adult conversation. I'm like, fine. And then there's another one. And then there was another one that I can actually remember. It was when we had to move from Whistler. So our rent got jacked, And we're like, my parents like, we can't do it anymore. Like, it's already expensive enough to live here. We can't do it. So where are we going to move? And I didn't know where we were going to move. We could have tried to stay in Whistler and see if we could like get lucky, or we could move to like Squamish, Pemberton, Vancouver, like wherever we needed to go, right? But I remember them saying something about 200,000 and a house. So whatever. I remember seeing the back of a newspaper. You know how the back of a newspaper, they have listings on the back? It said 200,000. There was a house for 200,000, Squamish. House, picture of a house, 200,000, Squamish. I went, holy shit, that's the solution. The funny thing is I actually found the newspaper in the house. So my parents had obviously seen it already, but I didn't think of that at the time. All I thought was, I figured out where we're gonna move. I found it. I was like, I've done the impossible. I've fucking done it. And I remember like, this is where we're gonna move. And they're just like, no. I was like, what? And they're just like, yeah, that's not where we're gonna move. And I'm like, you never listened to me, fuck. Okay, so I'm always trying to do that, like get involved, and then I was always shut down, and rightfully so. Who wants to hear what a stupid little kid has to say about it? Like maybe I wasn't stupid compared to other little kids, but little kids are stupid compared to us, full-blown adults. Okay, so I don't know shit about the world, but I'm trying to pretend, or I'm trying to act as if I do. Like I'm trying to like basically imitate adults. Right? And I'm trying to be like now that I'm grown up, I actually want to be a kid again. That's why I act so childish sometimes. But when I was that young, I really want to do it. I really try. I get shut down continuously. People don't respect me. Like people don't listen to me. People don't do this. People don't do that. Okay? So that kind of, that belief, again, it translates through all my experiences get filtered through these. Do you guys understand that? They get filtered through these. A weird part about these beliefs and values is, do you guys know what confirmation bias is? We have a confirmation bias. And if you want to put it simply, if something can mean 4 different things, but I have a confirmation bias towards it means I'm not being respected right now, I will believe I'm not being respected right now. So let's get an example. Let's just say someone's in group and they're like this. Because that happens a lot, okay? What could be going on? He could have insomnia. He could have a major sleep disorder. He could be not being able to wake up properly off his new meds. He could be detoxing off methadone or just on a high dose or Suboxone, or he could be currently loaded right now, which happens. Either he's relapsed or he just came in loaded. All these things are possibilities, right? But what do I think is happening? That person doesn't respect me. Because I'm doing group and the person going there, and then I'll have a confirmation bias towards that thing. And you know what? That's one of the least likely things that would be happening. I'm not saying that like no one doesn't respect me, but what I'm saying is like the methadone story, the Suboxone story, the staying up all night story, the fact that maybe he called his girlfriend last night and he was arguing with her for super long because she's pissed off that he's a drug addict and then he couldn't get to sleep. There's all these stories are far more likely to be the actual story than he doesn't respect me. But if I'm in active addiction and I'm driven by this computer with these beliefs, I'm going to go, it's because he doesn't respect me. When I was early on in group facilitation, so I have the 2 beliefs, right? People don't respect me, and if I do anything inappropriate, people will hate me. Not very pretty. And about 80% of my mental fuckery is centered around those two beliefs. So I remember early on when I was at group facilitation, somebody actually literally was coming off methadone. And if you guys have ever tried to come off methadone, it's a titanic struggle. Titanic. Way worse than coming off heroin. The worst detox you could possibly ever go through is off methadone. Yeah. So when people get off methadone, it's kind of like a big deal. It's like, holy fuck, you made it through the fucking, you know what I mean? So this guy heroically has taken his last dose of methadone. Okay? He's in my class. He hasn't really been sleeping. He's fucked. But I have a confirmation bias towards my own beliefs, right? Do you guys know what hypervigilance is? Hypervigilance, it's another symptom that we exhibit. It's when you're constantly scanning your field of consciousness for threats. So I'm scanning it for threats. I see something anomalous, one guy going like this. I lock onto that. What does it mean? What does this fact that occurs in my consciousness mean? It means I'm being disrespected. Boom, defective character comes out. Now I go, yo man, what the fuck? Do you want to listen to group or do you want to fucking relapse again? Like, is this not important to you? Do you not care about your own life? Like, what about your mom? You don't care about her? And I'm saying this with the conviction that I'm, like, with righteousness. Like, if you don't fucking listen here and you don't fully fucking apply yourself, you're fucked type thing. And I'm doing all this, and that's all, you know, correct. Maybe I'm not going about it in the right way, but I'm the sentiment is behind that is correct. But this is not reality. Now the guys in the class are starting to go like this. And I'm seeing them, and oh wait, what? Why are you guys looking funny right now? Like, he's coming off methadone right now. And then, oh fuck, boom. I've been really inappropriate by yelling at this, by fully getting into that full speech for no reason. Now I'm fucking condemning this guy because I'm wrong. So now I'm taking out my own shit on somebody else. So not only was I disrespected initially, I've been inappropriate. That's a double fucking whammy. Now how good am I going to be at doing group? Not very good. I'm going to be really insecure. I'm going to be like, holy fuck, I'm a piece of shit. Everyone hates me. Imagine trying to do group in front of everyone who actually hates you. And I'm fully on board with this. So this is when I was new. And that really fucked with me. It did. When I first started, I remember... Where was it? I was in garage. I was bottom of 3, and I said something, and someone had that look, and it was like I was like pretty early in my recovery. I was just doing fill-in, so I was like still decently unstable, but they were trying to test me out to see how I would do. So I was in there for only like an hour, and I remember saying something, and then somebody looked, and then another guy like kind of looked, and then somebody, and I just went like this. I'll be right back. I just fucking left, and then I went upstairs, and I fucking like compose myself. I'm like, is this even real? Were they making fun of me? I'm just, help me. I'm going back. And I went back in, and everyone's like, where'd you go? And they like actually seemed concerned for me. And I was like, oh, okay, they were, nothing. Oh, I was just, something, I thought I heard something, made up some fucking shitty excuse. And they're kind of like, they didn't accept it. They're like, okay, they didn't push me either. So like, it's funny. So these are like our beliefs and our value systems. Okay, so let's get this. So we have a confirmation bias towards our beliefs, right? So I think they're being triggered even when they're not triggered. It's kind of like a survival mechanism. Like I want to look for things that are going wrong, and I want to focus on those. I don't want to focus so much on things that are going right, because if things are going right, that's sweet. I want to focus on things that go wrong, because it could be threatening my life. If you got and this type of human inclination towards the negative is most apparent probably in the news. Okay? In tonight's top story, 40,000 people are doing okay. They don't say shit like that. People in this area of the world are happy. You know what I mean? That's not what the news is about. The news reports the problems because, yeah.
My name's Brian D.
Brian D? Yeah. The new guy? Yeah. You're taking the new guy. But Brian, it's okay. He's a good guy. Yeah. So the news doesn't report that. We don't necessarily, we like when things go good and it gives us satisfaction. We like being positive, but we focus more on the negatives because we're essentially, in a biological sense, we're advanced survival machines. So we're sensitive to threat, very sensitive to threat. We're always looking for threat constantly. When something that could potentially be threatening emerges, we assume it's automatically a threat, even if it isn't, because we have a confirmation bias. Like someone going like this could mean anything. Could mean a million things. He's I automatically take it that way because of my upbringing, because of my belief system. I don't know why I do that, but what I do know is that the fact occurs in consciousness, I place meaning on it in consciousness, and now I'm fully conscious of the fact that I'm being disrespected right now in real time. That's my reality. It's 100% real to me. It is real. This is what reality is. That's why we're so fucking wrong about shit, and we just think we're so right. And we don't even, lots of times we're never even corrected. Or when we're corrected, we openly reject it. Because here's the thing, there's a disconnect going on between what I think reality is and what reality actually is. If I was right about all these all the time, I wouldn't have a rough go at life. I would fucking own life. Imagine if you guys were right all the time. Think of how fucking successful you'd be right now. If everything you thought you knew was right, holy shit, none of us would be here. We'd all be in the penthouses of fucking Trump towers. It would be the McGow Tower. Fuck Trump. He wouldn't even exist in this world. Because I'm the guy who knows all the answers. So here's the thing. I don't know all the answers. In fact, I know so little of what reality is actually about that I can't even stop myself from physically picking up heroin and smoking it. That's how fucked up I am. So there's a huge problem here. There's this massive disconnect. I have the belief system. I act it out on the world because you act out what you believe. It doesn't actually compute with reality. I experience resistance in the form of physical pain sometimes, mental pain, interpersonal conflicts, tattered relationships. Things aren't going very well. And what do? I go, fuck, other people are dumb. That's normally what I do. People suck. I'm smart because I'm right about all this shit and everybody else is wrong about it all the time. Fuck. The world sucks. Not me. The world sucks. Isn't that crazy? So these beliefs that I'm inappropriate, people fucking hate me, no one fucking respects me, I can't go through life like that. That's horrible. Always just being in a state of like triggered.
Sorry, I was going to say
Yeah.
resentment. You know.
Yeah, resentment. Yeah, resentment arises from that. Fear, all negative emotion.
It's a horrible way to live.
It's a horrible way to live. So what do we do about it? What do we do about it? Not what we're going to do about it, the steps. What do we normally do about it?
Loaded.
Yeah, get loaded. What else? What?
Kind of bottle it up.
Bottle it up, yep.
Isolate.
We can isolate, yep.
Essentially, we become a dry drunk.
We become a dry drunk. So what's the difference between a dry drunk and a not dry drunk? What does the dry drunk or the non-spiritual human have that the spiritual person doesn't have?
The dry drunk is not connected to power.
Yeah. So what does power do for us?
Power
Enables us.
is everything.
What does he remove from us?
Our defects.
Our defects of character. So what we do, I can't go through life being threatened like this all the time. I do, but my brain says, no, I don't accept this amount of pain. Psychological pain, not physical pain. Psychological pain, in my opinion, is worse, mostly. Okay? I can understand if you have like sciatic nerve pain or if you have, there's some conditions, physical conditions that are absolutely torturous, but I find psychological pain a lot harder to deal with, right? I would rather someone walk up and punch me in the face as hard as they possibly can than me torture myself for 6 months and tell myself how dumb I think you know what I mean?
I'd rather get beat down by 20 guys than go through like a breakup or something with a woman I love.
Yeah.
Or,
I would rather get beat down by 20 hot guys than go through a breakup. Fucking just for no reason say that. Why'd you have to say hot guys? It doesn't make any sense. Just being an idiot.
much easier to deal with.
That's on camera too.
Yeah, it is. Fuck. Whatever.
That's good. It's fun.
Mom, I have something to tell you. No. He's gone. He's like, I can't take it. It's too much. So, I can't go through life like that. So what does my brain do? Don't worry, I'll save myself from psychological pain. I won't consult you about it. Consciousness, us, our soul, right? I got this. I'll create defects. Oh. So we need a defense mechanism against this kind of stuff. But our defense mechanisms are shitty. So they're called defects. Shut up. So they're called defects because they're defective. Not all, in a normal healthy person's life, they will develop tools to counteract these beliefs. Like, let's just remember Michael Jordan. We were talking about the Michael Jordan example. Some people are like this, okay, well, if I don't feel good enough, I will fucking be good enough. I will work my ass off and I will work and do the right thing to make myself good enough. I'm going to do it. And that type of belief, even the negative one, will drive him to success. With us, it's not like that. The solution to this problem is defective. So if I believe that if I acted inappropriately, everyone would hate me, what defective character could I potentially use to counteract that? There's more than one. I can use almost any defect to counteract that. Well, not almost any, but lots. Anyone got any sick ideas? Sweet ideas? Anyone got any cool ideas? G-fans?
Friend envy,
Okay, I'll tell you exactly the ones that I use. People pleasing. People pleasing, that's the one that I use. Okay, well, if I do anything inappropriate, people will hate me. I don't want anyone to hate me, so I'll please everybody. What about perfectionism? Perfectionism would be the most fitting.
yeah.
Okay, the most fitting would be perfectionism. Okay, I will just never, ever, ever do anything inappropriate. I have to be perfect. And oh, fuck, I bit my tongue. I have to be perfect in the way that I conduct myself. Does anyone have perfectionism, defective character? No, I have to be perfect. Okay? Perfectionism is also another thing that can counteract fear of failure. If you're a guy who's chronically, if your core belief is I'm a failure or I will fail, or if I fail, I'm a fucking loser and I'm a jackass and everyone will hate me if I fail, you're going to develop perfectionism. And perfectionism will allow you to maybe be good at certain things. Usually those things that you will be really good at if you're a perfectionist, especially if you're defective, which we are, is the things that you learn when you're young. Because you already have enough of an understanding that you can build on your understanding. If you're fucking a 22 to 30-year-old or 22 plus alcoholic, addict, who's threat sensitive, trying to learn anything new with perfectionism, defective character, fat chance that's going to happen. It's just not going to happen. You're going to fail, you're going to get something wrong right away, and you're going to be like, fuck it, it's too hard. Not understanding that failure is a necessary ingredient for success. So we develop defects. What else could you develop? You could also develop false pride, right? You could develop false pride. So if I do anything inappropriate, people will hate me. It's like, you guys don't fucking know what's inappropriate. I'm the judge of what's inappropriate and what's not inappropriate. So you can't even make that judgment because I'm so smart and I know so much about the world that you're not allowed to tell me that I've been appropriate because your words don't mean anything, only mine do. That's a false pride way of going about it. Or I'm so fucking much better than all you guys that if anyone tries to insult me ever, then I will fucking kick the shit out of you. Or you're a piece of shit. Or everyone will hate. You know what I mean? I'll try and flip the table. And that's fucked up. Because defects of character, they hurt people. We effectively are trying to save our own skin at the expense of somebody else. I will save myself from this pain by causing other people pain. Do you guys get that? And we do it a lot. We do it, you could say, all day, every day. We're acting these defensive overcompensations out on the people around us. And like, what if I was still like that? I mean, if I was still like that, I wouldn't have this job, I'll tell you that much. I would get fired immediately because I would be yelling at you guys for some kind of perceived fuckery that didn't actually happen. And they would be like, this guy's a fucking psycho. He can't run group, he just yells at us for being you know what I mean? So we develop these defects of character to prevent our belief systems from being triggered. Now, why do you guys think that these defects... Because here's the thing. If I was worried about not being respected, the right thing to do would be to conduct myself appropriately and act nobly in all my affairs and act in a respectful manner and over time earn your guys' respect. Does that sound nice? Doesn't sound like there's not a lot of room for fuckery there. That's just a good way to be. I'll just conduct myself appropriately. Now, if you guys can figure out what that is. And then my other belief that if I do anything inappropriate, people will help me. If I do anything inappropriate, people will help me. That's actually a good one. If I do anything inappropriate, people will hate me. What's a good way to go about squashing that?
Say something.
Like, yeah, maybe I could just actually talk about it. Or maybe I could go to like a therapist and try and work. Like there's other ways of working than people pleasing. Because this is what happens when I people please. Yeah, I'll fucking take you through the work. I'll take you through the work. Yeah, I'll help you move on Saturday. Yeah, let's hit the gym on Saturday. Oh, and then you were like, I just hear you talking to somebody else and you're like, fuck, I got this thing on Saturday and I need some help. I'll be like, I'll fucking help you. Because I will people please him. In anticipation, I need the instant gratification right now of knowing that I'm okay in that regard. I need you to like me now. Because the fear if I do anything inappropriate, people won't like me. The fear is people won't liking me. So I'm really, really concerned about whether people like me or not, to the point where I will fuck all of you guys over to get instant gratification that you like me right now. At some point in the line of my life, I'm not old, but I'm no spring chicken, I learned that people pleasing actually causes more harm than good. That's what defects do. They actually create the exact opposite thing of what you want. Because if my fear is the fact that you guys don't respect me, and I'm walking around with my chest puffed out, trying to get you guys to respect me, you guys are totally gonna just think I'm a jackass. What if lying was the defective character, which is actually one that I would do? If people don't respect me, I'll make them respect me. How do I do that? What's the easiest and quickest way to get the respect that I so crave right now? I'll lie to them. Fuck yeah, man, I saw Randy Couture in a bar, and I fucking punched them all. You know what I mean? I fucking punched them all. And I took his woman. You know what I mean? I probably won't be that ridiculous because, that shit just doesn't work on people. But yeah, one time, I slept with Miss America, Miss USA, Miss Philippines, Miss Crimea. You know what I mean? I'll just say all this shit to get you, and then does that make you guys respect me? No, because you're like, no, he just walks around lying to everybody. He's a piece of shit. So I create disrespect, don't I? Everything I'm trying to get, I create the exact opposite. When I tell all you guys, I'll do this with you, I'll do that with you, I'll do this with you, and then that day I'm either loaded or having an insecure day and I don't pick up my phone, I don't pick up my phone, I text you and I cancel saying, sorry, you have to find somebody else. The only thing I actually do is go to the gym with Martin because going to the gym's tight, and if I don't get a sick upper body pump, I don't even feel like I'm a real human, right? Because I'm vain. Right? Because I'm an addict, right? You guys are following me, right? Am I going too far off track here? Fuck. So what happens? Sorry, I lost track. You guys didn't. That was a projection. Okay? The only thing I do is go to the gym with Martin because I need that upper body pump, right? So I displease you. And now you guys are all very displeased with me. But all I was trying to do is please you. Okay? So why is pleasing people so important and right now that I will guarantee to fuck myself over in the future to get the instant respect now? I'll help you. Thank you, Joey. Oh, thank God. Right? Later on, fuck. Fuck it. Fuck later on. I need it now. People will probably eventually figure out that I'm lying. I didn't sleep with all those Miss whatever pageant winners. And I did not punch out Randy Couture. I didn't do that. They're going to figure that out. But in the moment, I don't give a shit about later. I give a shit about, I want your guys' respect. I need it.
Yeah, instant gratification.
Right meow. I need it right meow. Okay? So why is it so important to me? Why is it so important to me?
You need instant gratification. We're addicts.
Yeah, why?
That's your belief.
Hey, let's get this out in the air. If you guys all don't respect, if you guys all stood out right now, if you guys all stood up in unison, insinuating that this was a pre-planned thing. You guys got organized, unionized, you all stood up and said, Joey, actually, none of us like you. We think you're a fucking piece of shit, and we don't respect you at all. Okay, let's leave human emotion out of the equation, because that's like the equivalent of a nuclear bomb for me. Let's leave my emotion. What would actually happen to me? What would actually happen? Would I explode?
No.
Would my femur shatter into a million pieces?
No.
Nothing. You guys would be discharged, okay? You would all be discharged. I would be fine, okay? So, again, taking that into consideration, why do I care so much? Why do I care so much that I guarantee to fuck my future self over?
Because insecurity. That's one of your core values that you're like trying to satisfy.
Yeah, I'm trying to satisfy my core values. That's getting somewhere. Why do I have core values? Why do I have core beliefs?
From nature and nurture. From the way you live.
What is the function?
Conscious.
Okay, so what's gonna happen is we're gonna go on a break right now. I'll tell you after the break. So come back at 10:02. That gives you about 7 minutes.
Isn't